In what's felt like just a few days, we're finally wrapping up the 2025 NCAA tournament with the national championship. However, before we get into this incredible game between two incredible teams, let's first talk very briefly about how they got there in the Final Four. This year, I didn't do a Final Four video. It just didn't work out for me. So I'm going to recap both of these Final Four games very, very quickly and get directly into the national title. So first things first, in the Final Four, we had two SEC teams in Florida and Auburn. Like I mentioned in my Final Four preview, they played each other earlier this year at Auburn, and Florida kind of just ran them. Auburn kind of controls this first half. They're up 46-38 at half. And they have just 2 turnovers, taking care of the ball, and they're not shooting it that well from 3 either. So this is a good sign for Auburn. Florida is on their heels in trouble. But this 9-0 run from Florida will tie it at 49. And this Walter Clayton Jr. layup puts them up 2. Walter Clayton has 24 points on this 11-0 Florida run. Todd Pettiford and Denver Jones both have 3 fouls. On Florida side, though, Alex Condon has barely done anything, has 3 as well, just 1 point, 0 for 5 from the field. This insane Elijah Martin dunk puts Florida up 66-63. Walter Clayton puts Florida back up 4. Denver Jones responds. And then Walter Clayton Jr. again. This dude is just putting the team on his back. 71-68 Florida. Johni Broome misses both free throws. He has not scored since the 15-minute mark of the second half. Has 15 points. Walter Clayton Jr. again with this and 1. And then Chad Baker-Mazara misses a 3. Elijah Martin turns it over. Chad Baker-Mazara turns it right back. Thomas Hauff with this and 1. 76-68 Florida with 37 seconds to go. And that's going to be the game, guys. Auburn just could not execute down the stretch. I will say they had 1 chance off this Denver Jones steal, but Miles Kelly missed this 3 with 26 seconds left, down 5. Florida wins 79-73, and Walter Clayton Jr. becomes the first player since Larry Bird to have 30-plus point back-to-back games in the Elite Eight and the Final Four, finishing with 34, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 11 for 18 from the field with 5 threes. Elijah Martin had 17. Thomas Hauff had a clutch 12 off the bench. And then on the Auburn side, Johni Broome finishes a fantastic career, not scoring in the last 15 minutes of the game, had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Todd Pettiford, the phenomenal lefty freshman, only had 7 points, 1 for 6 from the field. Denver Jones, 10 points, just 1 for 5 from 3. Miles Kelly, just 8 points, 2 for 7 from 3. They needed those guys. Chad Baker-Mazara had 18. But the biggest difference in that second half is that, remember, Auburn had just 2 turnovers at half. They had 12 in the second half. That being said, Florida moves on. Let's quickly get through this and get to the national title game. Next, we have Houston versus Duke, the #1 offense in the country versus the #1 defense. And for this game, we'll cut right to the chase, guys. Duke is up the entire game, leading by as much as 14 with 12 minutes to go, but Houston never quits. They cut this lead after this LJ Cryer floater and this Jawan Roberts layup to just 6 with 6 minutes to go, 59-53. Sion James turns the ball over. Tugler has a putback. This is now a 10-0 run for Houston. Tyrese Proctor hits a couple free throws. Cooper Flagg makes a huge 3 with 3 minutes to go, and Duke is back up 9, 64-55. Let's cut to it. As Houston's full court pressing, JoJo Tugler commits a technical foul on the full court press, stripping the ball out of Sion James's hands. Con Knipple has this free throw, 67-61. But JoJo Tugler redeems himself with this block. Emmanuel Sharp hits a 3. It's a 3-point game. 67-64 with 33 seconds to go. Houston gets a steal on the press. They miss a 3, but JoJo Tugler with the putback. 1-point game, 67-66. The NBA playoffs are quickly approaching, and with that, teams are battling, especially in the West, to get out of the play-in, which means it's the perfect time to get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook. I've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook today, and right now they have a new customer offer. If you bet just $5, you'll get $150 instantly in bonus bets. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook, type in promo code Hardwood upon sign up, bet those $5, and boom, you'll be able to use those bonus bets on whatever you like, whether it's some same game parlays, exploring different player prop options they have, or even hopping in live on some game action for more excitement. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. DraftKings has you covered with DraftKings Pick 6, where you can win cash prizes. Here's what I'm rocking with for tonight's NBA slate. What are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use promo code Hardwood, lock in that special new customer offer by betting $5, instantly scoring $150 in bonus bets. Thank you so much to DraftKings for sponsoring this video and teaming up with me. Let's get right back into it. 25 seconds left. They have to foul now, sending Tyrese Proctor, a 65% free throw shooter, to the line, and he misses the front end. Not only does he miss the front end of the free throw, but they call this over the back foul on Cooper Flagg that we all know was not a foul. However, I do want to say, if you're a Duke fan complaining about that, you haven't scored a field goal since like the 10-minute mark in the second half. So score a field goal and maybe you're not in this position. Juwan Roberts, he's like a 60% free throw shooter. He makes both 68, 67, and then they go to Cooper Flagg that misses this fadeaway jumper. LJ Cryer hits 2 free throws, and Houston pulls off this comeback 70-67. Remember, they were down 9 with 3 minutes to go. They were losing the entire game, and they were down 6 with 47 seconds left without the ball. Just an unbelievable win for the Houston Cougars. An 11-1 run over the final minute and 14 seconds. And like I said, just one made field goal actually for Duke in the last 10 minutes of the second half. What a terrible way for guys like Cooper Flagg, Conkanepple, Kaman Maluach to end their one and only season in college basketball. Kaman Maluach had just 6 points and 0 rebounds. Cooper Flagg finishes with 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 16 points, 7 boards. Duke would have just 4 bench points. On the Houston side, LJ Cryer was phenomenal, 26 points, 8 for 14 from the field, 16 points for Emmanuel Sharp. Juwan Roberts, 11 and 12, plus 5 assists. JoJo Tugler, only 4 points, 8 boards, 4 blocks. The man is a machine. And Houston moves on. One of the greatest Final Four comebacks in history, if not the greatest. With that being said, let's get to the national championship. That's what you came here for. Everyone knows what happened in the Final Four. In this national title, Florida versus Houston, the number 2 offense in the nation versus the number 1 defense. This game is largely controlled by Houston. Both teams start out 0 for 12 from 3 combined. Houston's leading 31-28 at half. They have completely taken Walter Clayton Jr.'s scoring out of this game. He has 0 points. It's very clear it's the game plan. But Will Richard for Florida is doing everything they can. He has half of their points with 14. Florida has 9 turnovers to Houston's just 1 at half. And here's what I'll say. If this continues in the second half, Houston is winning this one. Florida cannot be playing Houston's game. It's exactly what they're doing right now. Cryer hits a 3 in the second half. Early, a tech on Florida's bench, plus another Cryer 3 and a Roberts bucket. All of a sudden, Houston is up 42-30. They are dictating this game right now. This Elijah Martin 3 makes it a 6-point game. Florida gets a steal. Hauff has an and 1. And Florida's starting to speed this game up a little bit, 45-42. LJ Cryer is doing everything he can to stifle this run from Florida. Another 3. 6-point lead. JoJo Tugler gets his 4th foul here with 9 minutes to go, and both teams are now in the bonus as well. Walter Clayton finally has his first field goal of the game. It's an and 1, tying the game at 48. And then another and 1 from Clayton Jr., 51-51. Clayton's first 3 of the game ties it at 60. LJ Cryer is so good. He misses this floater, but he's able to get the board and put it in, 62-60. Tugler makes just 1 free throw. It's now 63-62. 2:05 to go, and teams do not score a field goal the rest of the way in this one. But Elijah Martin, off of this steal, gets fouled and makes both free throws. Florida is up 64-63, and Emmanuel Sharp turns the ball over. Will Richard, who has been the most consistent player in this game, gets the strip, but Denzel Aberdeen misses the first free throw. Florida's up just 65-63 with 19 seconds left. Houston has a chance to tie it or go for the win. And instead, Emmanuel Sharp again turns the ball over. He goes to shoot it. You cannot dribble if you've already left your feet. And the clock runs out. Houston doesn't even get a shot off on its 2 final possessions to win or tie the game. Florida wins this one 65-63. Like I said, neither team scored a field goal in the final 2 minutes of that game. Walter Clayton had just 11 points on 3 for 10 from the field, but he had 7 assists and 5 rebounds. Like I said, Houston has the best defense in the entire country. Their entire game plan was to take Walter Clayton out of the game, and he was able to still facilitate and play make. Will Richard was huge for them, 18 and 8 on 5 for 10 from the field. Alex Condon had one of his best games of the tournament, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals. And I thought Thomas Hauff, even though he had just 5 points, was absolutely huge for Florida. I think he was a team high plus 13. He's just been huge this entire tournament, honestly. Elijah Martin didn't shoot it too well, had just 7 points, 2 for 10 from the field. On Houston's side, again, this was an ugly game, guys. Neither team shot it well from the field. Florida just 39%, Houston 35%, but they had 15 offensive rebounds. LJ Cryer finishes a fantastic career back home in Houston, 19 and 6 on 6 for 18 from the field. And no other player was in double figures. They had a bunch of them with 8 or 9 points. Like I said about Emmanuel Sharp, fantastic player, but I just feel awful for him. He completely messed up on their final 2 possessions. And then Juwan Roberts, another absolute legend that just plays Kelvin Sampson basketball. He went just 3 for 13 from the field tonight. Finishes also a fantastic career. Same with JoJo Tugler. Fouls out in just 16 minutes of play. And that'll pretty much do it for the 2025 NCAA Tournament Explained. Todd Golden, the coach for Florida in his 3rd year there, becomes the youngest coach to win a national championship at 39 years old. Billy Donovan was the previous youngest. And like I said, was this my favorite tournament in terms of upsets and crazy theatrics? No, it wasn't, but the Final Four was incredible. These were some amazing games. The high-level talent in this tournament from these top teams is something we will probably never see again. So thanks for being a part of the ride. I appreciate everyone for these videos. I want to hear from you guys what you want to see next. Let me know in the comments. I'm obviously going to cover the NBA, but maybe I need to do recaps for the playoffs. They didn't do fantastic last year, but maybe I need to do weekly and I need to title and thumbnail it different. So anyway, open to suggestions from you guys. Going to continue doing some historical college basketball videos as well. And as always, we'll see you on the hardwood.